Julian, thank you for joining us before your session at the Digital Transformation Expo. Let's start with an introduction first of all. Tell us what your role is at Expereo, and can you tell us a little bit about your background before Expereo?
Hi, James. Yes, absolute pleasure to be here today. So I am the Chief Digital Officer here at Expereo, and I'm very proud to lead our software engineering, product management, and user experience teams. And our team focuses on digital transformation, product innovation, and customer-centric technology across for global organizations. Before Expereo, I've spent nearly 30 years leading product and digital initiatives at some of the world's most demanding environments, including in my time Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple, building and scaling massive customer-facing products. At Amazon, for example, I led product growth for Prime Video, where I was responsible for the customer acquisition and payment experience globally. And I launched that experience in nearly 200 countries worldwide across web, mobile, smart TV platforms. And then after that, I led product growth at DAZN, the world's largest live sports streaming service, where the bar for digital performance and reliability and experience for the highest profile live events is incredibly high. Sports fans are incredibly passionate and incredibly demanding about what they expect from their service. And so you learn very quickly how to build products that people rely on every day. And I think the common thread that I brought to me here at Expereo has been about customer-centric transformation, leveraging product flywheels and data and technology to drive digital experiences that scale, bring adoption and unlock growth.
Fantastic, thank you. So a wide range of product experiences there driving digital transformation strategies. For those who don't know, just could you give us an overview on who Expereo are and what you do?
Sure. Expereo is a global network as a service provider, focusing particularly on managed internet connectivity for large enterprises. We like to think we make global connectivity work the way enterprise actually need it to, which is simple, more transparent, and more deterministic at scale. So our services span global internet access, our enhanced middle mile connectivity, and integration with leading SD-WAN and SASE platforms. We work with about 60% of the Fortune 500. We deliver connectivity in over 190 countries through a partner ecosystem of more than 2,300 providers. And that enables us to connect virtually any location worldwide. And so customers come to Expereo for global connectivity that's simple and transparent, trustworthy, and increasingly for networks that support AI safely, securely, and predictably. And one thing also I'd call out about Expereo is that we're known in particular for the quality of our service and our people. And in my career, Expereo's customer and employee NPS are the highest I've ever seen. And this was a major reason why I joined Expereo. The customers that we work with rely on us every day and they love working with us.
Fantastic, thank you. So, in terms of, I suppose, the innovation side of things, Julian, what are you currently doing at Expereo that will excite and surprise your customers at the moment?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I would look at this when I came to Expereo, I saw that global connectivity has, I would say, largely resisted real digital transformation for a long time. And most customers will still experience it as slow and manual and opaque and fragmented across the dozens of providers and portals they need to work with. We believe, though, at Expereo that with emerging technologies such as agentic AI, that's finally changing. And our ambition here is to make global connectivity as simple and immediate and transparent as cloud computing is for our customers. I like to say we're trying to bring cloud-like simplicity and speed to a part of our customers' IT estate that's been stubbornly manual for decades. So one of the biggest shifts our customers are going to see from Expereo is speed. We believe, for example, that pricing global connectivity should take minutes and not weeks. and changes should be immediate and hands-free. So you're going to see us delivering new, almost SaaS-like products and pricing models to support this as we go forward and execute our strategy. The foundation for this is Expereo One. It provides a complete digital experience across the customer lifecycle. It gives customers a single global view of what is deployed, how it's performing, and what it's costing them. And then beyond visibility, Expereo One is increasingly proactive. We actively monitor our customers' locations. We identify and we resolve degradation issues before customers even think to raise a ticket with us. And we're deeply integrated into our customers' order management, their ITSM, their ERP systems, which makes working with Expereo at scale absolutely seamless. And finally, we're working across our partner ecosystems to make the moves, adds, and changes that happen every day within our customers' global networks faster, simpler, and way more cost effective.
Fantastic, thank you. Julian, in your role, you speak to a lot of CIOs and network leaders. Could you tell us what they're frustrated by currently with their connectivity tools and how you're looking to approach that gap?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I spend a lot of time doing, speaking with CIOs. I would actually say it's the speaking with customers is the piece of my job that I enjoy the most. But what I hear from them is frustration. Frustration with the fragmentation they have across their global connectivity. They have connectivity everywhere, but visibility nowhere. So they're dealing with hybrid networks, multiple clouds, multiple providers, and multiple portals that create a constant operational drag to their teams. And what they want is clarity and control, not more tools. They want a single real-time view of performance, of incidents, of their assets across their global estate, so that teams can understand what's actually happening without having to stitch data from multiple systems together manually. And they're also frustrated with reactive operations. Measuring availability is no longer enough. The thing, particularly with AI workflows, is that they need reliability. They need consistency and performance degradation. They need to understand that a long time before users and systems will ultimately fail. I like to say that CIOs, they don't actually have a connectivity problem. They have a visibility and control problem. So our approach of Expereo One is to provide that unified operational layer, a consolidated set of telemetry, proactive monitoring, and automation across their global internet, across their SD-WAN, SASE, cloud access, and site connectivity. And the key point is that better visibility isn't about more dashboards. It's about connecting network behavior to their business outcomes in terms of resilience, security, experience, and cost. So that, when I speak to CIOs, is what they're trying to close.
Fantastic, thank you. I mean, you've mentioned AI a couple of times, Julian, so I suppose let's go a little deeper into it. I mean, everyone's going to be talking about AI. That's going to be the thrust of so many strategic conversations this year. If you just look at data centers, major data centers are being built globally. Governments are building more power stations to power them, and then you've got the network connecting it all. There's an awful lot that has been written about the AI-ready network. But from your perspective, what does an AI-ready network look like?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question. And for once, I think the AI-ready network is not just about speed. For me, it's about certainty. AI workloads are distributed, they're continuous, they're incredibly latency sensitive. Inference, monitoring, retrieval, and remediation never stop. So that changes the network's role. Companies and enterprises traditionally looked at network as being background plumbing, something like electricity that's just always assumed to be on. But in the world of AI, networking becomes actually a system dependency. When the network degrades, the application degrades immediately. So an AI-ready network needs to make data movement deterministic, It's not just about it being fast, it's about it being predictable and observable and governable and resilient, and to do all those things under continual change. So AI-ready networks are not just about moving data faster. They're about knowing exactly what happens to it every time. AI networks also treat sovereignty properly, particularly for our customers in EMEA. Sovereignty is not just a storage problem. Sovereignty is a data flow problem as well. And if you can't prove where your data flowed and who handled it and under what policy, you don't have sovereignty. You just have documentation. So forward-thinking organizations, they're designing for latency variance, not just averages. They're using policy-driven routing. They treat observability as a control plane. They build multi-network resilience by default, and they embed security directly into their network fabric.
Great, thank you. So that's the theory, I suppose, and moving it into the practical. How can Expereo help here, and what are your customers really looking for in this space?
Yeah, I mean, our customers are looking for speed to a workable global design. They're looking for predictable performance and operational control in a complex multi-country environment. They want sovereignty and security that they can enforce, and they want the supplier complexity abstracted away. What we see consistently is that organizations often have very strong models, really, really smart AI teams, but their AI ambition outpaces their ability to move the data they need under real world constraints. Prototypes work, but it breaks in production. And that transition exposes weaknesses in their data movement, observability, their resilience. And that's the uncomfortable truth, is that very often the network determines where actually an AI strategy can really operate. So enterprises rarely fail at AI because they choose the wrong LLM, for example. They will fail often because enterprises underestimate how hard it is to move data reliably, compliantly, and continuously across a real enterprise WAN. It doesn't just fail in the lab, it fails when it meets the production network. So Expereo helps by acting as an operating layer. We translate AI ambition into network intent. We help our customers design multi-network architectures. We industrialize global delivery, and we operate connectivity as a continually managed system on behalf of our customers.
Great, thank you. If I can ask you a sort of general advice question, what should organizations do today to become AI ready?
Yeah, I mean, to elaborate on a point earlier, I mean, most organizations will start AI discussions thinking about models. And that's fine, but you need to understand that will only really work within your lab. The readiness starts in production with data movement. So organizations need to understand where they can move data continually and predictably and compliantly within their production environments. I always ask customers this one question: can you move the right data to the right place under the right rules every single time? So I have a checklist that I share with our customers for how to think about this. So first of all, map their AI data flows end to end, and not just for training. More importantly, it's for inference and retrieval. Secondly, always on needs to be a design constraint, not an SLA target. Your SLAs will work fine until they don't, which really brings on to my third point, which is design for variance and not averages. Our customers don't experience the average network. They experience the worst 5 minutes of their network. And they need to ask themselves, how do they design that out of their networks? Fourth, they need to make sovereignty enforceable through actual policy and routing. not just documentation. Fifth, I suggest that companies consider collapsing network and security into a single control fabric. In AI systems, threats operate in real time. An attacker doesn't need to steal everything. But the scale these systems work on, they just need to change one decision at scale. So security has to live in the data path, not be reviewed after the fact, because after the fact is too late. Next, instrument everything end to end so that behavior is visible and provable, not just guessed at. And finally, they need to build multi-network resilience rather than carry a dependency on any one single last mile provider.
Fantastic, thank you. And finally, Julian, as I mentioned at the start, you're going to be speaking at the Digital Transformation Expo. Anyone who's watching this video who's coming to the event or thinking of coming to the event, why should they attend your session, and what will be the big takeaways from it?
I think I want to challenge a few things. I think I want to ask people to consider even unlearning things they've learned in the past, because a lot of what we've taken for granted about networks no longer hold in an AI world. It doesn't just change applications, it forces us, as I say, to unlearn how we think about networks. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to stop thinking of a network as plumbing and think about it as the AI runtime. Bandwidth is possibly the least interesting factor about connectivity. Determinism and variance and control will be what actually will drive real outcomes. Learn about thoughts around sovereignty and how it's not just a storage problem. It's a routing and evidence problem. How the boundary between network and security teams is somewhat obsolete in an AI world, and that security is inseparable from connectivity. Another controversial point I'll be making is that SLA theater is dead. AI workloads punish even the most brief brownouts. So your SLA only has so much value. You need to design availability, consistent availability into the core of your network through diversity and automation and not averages. And finally, your network needs to be as programmable as your cloud. Static networks turn AI into a very fragile science project. Adaptive networks turn it into an enterprise capabilities. So all these points will be bringing to life with real customer examples, including a global airline, a multinational brewing business, and a global building solutions leader. And so I look forward to meeting everybody and presenting my thoughts and hearing the thoughts of everybody else.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Julian, for your time.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure, James.